Question of the day.
So, a little bit of backstory on this. I don't know if any of you guys watched the Beckham experiment.
I haven't yet.
So it was pretty good. It was very interesting, and it was really crazy if you guys watch and take note of this. And it's something to notice how many parallels there are to Beckham and Zlatan. It's weird. Both players came in, massive hype around them. Beckham, easily the biggest signing MLS has ever had at that point. Zlatan, you could make the argument, in recent times he's probably the most accomplished player, if not skill wise, toward the top. But came in, were hated by the media. Beckham, because of he was injured when he first came in and didn't play for the first like 2 months that he was at the Galaxy. Zlatan, just because he's arrogant. Teammates have come out and said we don't like playing with them, or they think they're arrogant and they think they're better than this league, and which I could argue was true both for Beckham and Zlatan. Zlatan, came in, tore it up, and Beckham, yes, won MLS Cup, but had support around him. Zlatan, I don't think did. So Sebastian Lleget, looking at you because you don't question Zlatan when you don't play a single game in 5 years for West Ham. Just don't do it. Know your place. So my question to you is: would you rather play on a team with someone who's got a bad attitude but does whatever their job is on the field? So I'll use Zlatan as an example. So his attitude sucks. Thinks he's better than league, but bangs in goals on a weekly basis, or someone who's nice, gets along with his teammates, media darling, but doesn't do anything.
Follow-up question. Is it only on the field he's a tool, or is it like he like walks into the locker room, doesn't look at you, and is just like nobody deal with me?
It was I wrote this question with kind of that Zlatan personality in mind. So someone who's outwardly said he's bigger than MLS. Um, I don't know if he had said he's better than his teammates, but I mean I have to assume that he thought he was, just because he is. But no, I'll say doesn't look to like fight with his teammates, but doesn't go out of their way to like hang out with them after training. Like comes in, does his job. You might not like him as a man or a person, but is doing is on fire once he steps on the field.
Well, this is an easy one for me. I go with the latter. I go with the guy who doesn't cause an issue and or is good to people but not good on the field, because that's what I was. I was not a good player, but I am not. I was able to bring a locker room together
Mm-hmm.
and make a team play better just by being a good person, I guess. Um, and I guess it also depends if you have one of those already. So like for me, there really was never somebody like that. So I had to be that person. But if there's somebody there, then it kind of changes things. But for me, I'll take a person who isn't the best, but is a good person to his teammates and the media and all that stuff, and will work hard maybe in training to do what's right, and then maybe not produce in a game.
Okay, Connor.
I'll say I'd rather have a Zlatan on my team. And I'll say that because I feel like I would try to use his arrogance as motivation to try to train harder and get to that level that says like, hey, you're wrong. Like this, you have teammates that are good enough for you. And I think having someone that's at a higher skill level will push more to improve and kind of match him. Especially if you're like, I really want to prove this guy wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that it makes people want to play more, because I've been on teams where people have walked off of the field because somebody walked in, thought they were better than everybody else, and were like talking down to them, and they walked off the field and they didn't want to play anymore. Um,
Yeah, so Sebastian Leggett had said there were training sessions that he was with Zlatan during, and there were points where he wanted to just take his cleats off and walk off. Like I don't know what necessarily caused those feelings, but it was definitely something he considered doing at one point.
I just think that in this situation, um, I feel like if I had, because this is a job for them, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think about it as if like I had someone at my job that was like amazing at their job and was just like super great, but was super arrogant and was like just a total dick. Um, I almost feel like I'd be able to put up with it just for the fact that he makes my job so much easier if he's really good, and it's like if I have it the other way around where it's like, oh, this guy's such a great guy, he's so great to be around, but he sucks at his job, and that like hurts all of us, then it's like, well, yeah, this is great, but it's like, how long is this going to be great for before we're all out of a job?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's necessarily that he's not performing on the field, because he can have a different role that he's good at. And again, I go back to myself where I played 15 minutes my senior year, but I had a really important role that was crucial that I needed to be a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
So
kind of took it as like someone being on the field and just sucking.
yeah. So and not to hammer these players over and over and over, but when I was writing this question, I was kind of thinking of someone, not to keep comparing them, but like a Chicharito who was brought in to be that lethal goal scorer, and that was kind of like his only job. Like, yes, he's going to be, media darling, publicity, whatever, but on the field wise, your job is to score goals. That's the only reason we're paying you millions of dollars. And if you don't do that, why are you here?
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
I think everybody will take that differently. Um, I think some people will obviously react negatively to like someone being arrogant or like yelling at you if they don't think you're doing well enough. But then there's like I was listening to Bobby Boswell's podcast recently, and he had Parkhurst on, and they were talking about Parkhurst's early days as like a rookie, and he had Twelman like yelling at all the rookies, and it's from what I sounded like Parkhurst never really like took it to heart, and it helped him to get better. So I think it probably depends on the person, like how they take certain things.
Yeah, I was about to follow up with that same comment. Was that there? If you put a group of guys together who all respond positively to negative reinforcement, somebody showing up and saying you suck, get better, then it won't be an issue. The issue is when you have a mixed group of half the team who respond positively to that and half the team who don't. That's when the issue comes. So it depends on what the team is made up of as well.
Yeah, I mean, Zlatan scored 30 some odd goals his last season. The entire Galaxy team, I think, scored like 52. So 60% of your goals are coming from one man. He kind of has the right to be that arrogant. He's literally dragging you to where you finished. Um, I agree, and I was kind of a combination of both, especially going into college. I was, the nice guy. I would never really yell at people, but if you were, messing around, not working as hard, or you weren't taking it as seriously as I thought you should be, I'm gonna yell at you. And as soon as we step off the field, if you just continue to mess around and do what you were doing on the field, I'm gonna lay into you and let you have it, and basically rip you a new one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
totally
so I was
fair.
just interested.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. That's really good. It makes you think a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Craziest thing, just to add on to it, and you guys will see this when you watch, and I recommend all our viewers to watch that because I think it was really really well done. And um, initially when I saw the commercial and the promo for it, I thought it was going to be like a mini series, but it was just a 1 hour kind of thing. I would have liked to have that, continue on. Um, but I have to say, the amount of hate that David Beckham got for leaving the Galaxy on loan to go to AC Milan is blows my mind. That AC Milan team, any person in their right mind, if given the chance, would have gone to that team. The LA Galaxy were garbage when he was there, and Landon Donovan in the thing admits it. He said, he's like, we had bad players on the team. He's like, we were a bad team. There's no, hiding that fact. He got to go to a Milan team with Ronaldinho, Kaká, Pirlo, like Zambrotta, like the best of the best in this
All
world.
of them in their prime, by the way.
Yeah, like that Milan team, looking back on it, was silly, like cheat code silly. So I don't blame him. And then he came back and won you MLS Cup. So, I can't hate him.
No, of course not.
But crazy to think what Zlatan could have done had he stayed and they actually, helped him. Because Beckham struggled. They gave him Landon Donovan and Robbie Keane. Zlatan struggles and they give him
Sebastian Lleget and Perry Kitchen.
And Jerome and Emmanuel Boateng.
Oh my god.
So
if we get started on that, we're talking for another 4 hours. So.
Yeah, no. I'll save you that.